Okay. So we made a really quick pause there to make sure we had our desktop capture off. And then we restarted the stream. Good morning, everybody. Here we are asleep in our HAB unit on we sleep with our jacket and our glasses on. We'll get this camera swung around here just right. Looks like it's daylight already. Let's get up out of the bed. Okay, there we go. Okay. There we are. Good morning, everybody. Let me grab my coffee from the coffee machine. We had a little bit of problems yesterday. We got down to the Expo Hall and couldn't rent any of the Anvil ships. We tried a server hop. We went to the Australian zone servers. Still had problems, but we've still got our Anvil shirt and our IAE hat on. So let's try that again. Let's get down there to the Expo Center. Before that stuff is over with. And will we see people that have their spacesuits on and are running everywhere and not using their mics? Probably. Because that's what people do. I even watched a show where people said, okay, we're down to the lobby. Oh no, we aren't. I even watched it. Hello, how are you? Doing some mining? What's in the backpack? There we go. And the guy that wears his spacesuit is running and doesn't use his mic. It's freaking everybody in this game. So I watched a show. And basically, they were saying the expo is so large that maybe they should give us carts or a little choo-choo train to take us around to ride on stuff, which I thought was pretty silly. But you know, people complain. Then they build us a nice big expo hall, and then they complain. I mean, time is money. And it does take more time to get around.
Now approaching station.
The big
Stand
expo
clear
hall.
of disembarking passengers.
But you know, there we go. I got a trained muscle. So anyway, we'll give this another try. This Microtech is kind of a cold planet. It's winter conditions pretty much all the time. That's one of the reasons why the Microtech Corporation bought it. It was a good place for them to put their data centers. So to me, this is like a high-tech snowy land.
Nearing next stop.
I don't think I would put my estate claim marker down on this planet because I don't like the cold weather. But some people, if if that's your thing, you might like it. Okay. It's all about the journey this year. The IAE 2950 Expo. We got clothing in the booths. We stopped and we looked at that. We looked at all this stuff in the previous sessions, which are on Twitch in my saved VODs. And a day later, at least, get exported over to YouTube. So we've got Aegis Hall and Anvil Hall. Let's start off with Aegis. There's the elevators. So if people had gray cats, they'd be taking them up here and getting some air off of this ramp. I will go ahead and make my dude run. What do we see there? We see the coffee stand. We see the map. So we got the reclaimer, the savers, and then we've got stuff in the 4 halls around us, and then there's some stuff downstairs. So let's go around let's just go around the circle here and rent these ships that we couldn't rent yesterday. There's the Aegis Bomber, kind of looks like a flying stealth wing. In the future, when we're having big wars and trying to take down capital ships, this is something that could sneak in. It says already rented. Here's the Retaliator Bomber. I talked about that one yesterday. I've got one of these. It's an older design. Already rented. Okay. I already rented those two. I put my code to use in chat. If you want to take advantage of the free fly event, you have to first create an account at Robert Space Industries. When you create that account, if you use the code that I put in my chat, and then later on you buy a game package, you don't have to buy a game package to participate in the free fly event, but you do have to create an account. Well, if you use my code when you create that account and you buy a game package, you'll get 5,000 credits, in-game credits, for free, added to your account. So it's kind of a no-brainer. use somebody's code when you first create your Star Citizen account. Doesn't cost you anything. Gets you 5,000 in-game credits, and then it gives the person whose code you used 1 referral credit. And depending upon how many people use your referral code, then that person is at various times gets other things for them. Because Star Citizen is a game in still an early alpha release, I encourage you to try it out without spending any money. Depending on what you think and your tolerance for crashes and bugs and features that aren't yet in the game, you may say, you know what, this game is not for me. You might say, I like this game, it's got a lot of promise, but I'm going to wait until it's released before I spend any money. Or you could do like I and a bunch of other people did and say, you know what, I really like this game, I think it's going to be great, and I know that the game developer is doing something different. They're not, they're their own publisher. They aren't partnered up with another company, and in order to make that business model successful, I'm going to go ahead and back this game. I'm going to make a pledge when I buy a game package, or after I've bought a game package when I buy something else from them, in order to support the development. But again, that's something that's not for everybody, and so the best way to instead of asking people, well, should I do it? Is it a scam? I think the best thing to do is to just go ahead and to play the game yourself. As you can see, I'm scamming along right now inside of the Expo Center, and at the same time, people are playing in this persistent universe. But so I think you can. My opinion is that scam accusations are obviously false. However, at times this game can be very broken and it can be very frustrating. I will also say the developers have a history of being very optimistic about when things are going to be added to the game and then completely missing those deadlines. And also when things happen like these big events or ships go on, ships become available to buy, their infrastructure has a history of failing and just not working for a while until they get it fixed. So I can offer honest criticism where I feel criticism is due. And I feel I should do that to inform people who might watch this stream and who might be making a decision about this game, right? I would rather describe the game warts and all to you than to paint just a rosy picture and then have you find out all that stuff after the fact and say, Edward, you lied to me. You deceived me. I don't want anybody saying that. So if you think I'm being a little bit harsh, keep that in mind. My comments are not directed to people who know and still like this game, but they're to people who may not have had the opportunity. They may not have ever seen this game before. And they're looking at it and they're going, wow, I want to buy this and I want to play it right now. It's like, well, be advised. You're not really buying the game as much as you're pledging money to get this game developed. And as far as playing goes, you'll find that you can do things in the game, but as far as fully fleshed out game loops, progressions, and stuff like that, that's not the case, and things can change. You could say, hey, I'm going to buy that spaceship. I like the way that it's got this. And it could change in the future. They could say, oh, well, you know what, we made it better. More people wanted it, blah, blah, blah. So an informed buyer is a smart buyer. It does take a decent PC to get acceptable performance out of this game. I just got a new PC, and so right now my little NVIDIA thing up in the top corner is showing I'm getting about 46 to 51 frames a second. And that's with a NVIDIA 2080 Ti and one of the i9 10,000 something processors. On my older PC, which was about 5 years old, I had a 1060 NVIDIA 1060i, and I had a i7, I think it was a 6-core processor, and the big performance thing in that case was when I added a SSD. A solid-state disk is pretty much mandatory for this game, so I'm going to say a SSD and at least a 1060i, if not something a little bit more powerful. And it'll be better when the game is released, but for now, because this game is in alpha, they haven't really done any optimization, and it does take a little bit more to run it. Already rented. I think we've gone all the way around. Now you notice I'm not renting the reclaimer, and I didn't rent the hammerhead either. And the reason for that is things that's really going to take multiple people to crew and operate. I'm not going to go out and I'm not going to fly. And I've seen the inside of both of those ships, so. That's the Aegis Hall. Oh, it's up for downstairs. Sorry, we didn't hit downstairs. We can't rent stuff down there, but we can check out.
Attention visitors to the Intergalactic Aerospace Center. Please take care.
Check out what's going on. These are little hollow. There's like little hollow viewers. Or future games. Future ships can be seen. So this is the Aegis Nautilus, which is a mine layer. So this is a big ship that'll lay out mines, like it's kind of a combat type of thing. You'd have multi-crew on there. It's kind of cool, but I'm not looking to add one to my fleet. This one is the Aegis Vulcan. Medium repair, medium refuel. Become a one-person support crew with Aegis Dynamics versatile Vulcan, supplying aid to pilots on the fly. Whether pinned down under heavy fire and in need of ammunition, low on quantum fuel, or after an ill-planned jump, or stranded in an unknown place with a busted thruster, a pilot in distress can always count on a Vulcan and its cadre of drones to lend speedy, efficient assistance. So this is a smaller ship. Could be crewed by one person. And basically, you know, you go help people out. This is a ship that it's not released yet, which is why it's kind of in this viewing thing. You can't rent it, but it gives you a chance to see what it's like. Anyway, I picked up one of these this week. This is something I think will fit into the way that I'm going to play the game. And so I picked one of those up, and in the future when it's released to the game, I'll have that to play with. Alright, so that's Hall 1. I don't think there was anything else down here. Vulcan, Nautilus, oh, and Redeemer's down here too. Somehow I missed the Redeemer.
This is a friendly reminder that the Tobin Expo Center is a STEM-free environment. Please refrain during your visit and have an amazing day.
And so it's got that kind of high tail on it. The Redeemer's got those walnut cracker wings. This was a ship that was designed at an event that held at a Star Citizen like conference, like meeting. That you know, backers of the game gave their input. Look at all those forward-facing guns. This will be a multi-crew ship. It kind of, you know, was designed to be a do-everything ship, because I think everybody was thinking, oh, well, if I could have one ship that did it all. But it's kind of morphed into a gunship. So again, more towards a combat role, and you know, a smaller but still a multi-crew ship. So that's there, and then there we go. Then we're back to our whatever, our thing.
On display at this year's IAE are conveniently available to rent.
Okay, so those are the 3 future release ships that are down here. Now you can't rent them in game to try out, but in the pledge store you can pledge towards ships that aren't currently released. But when you do that, you usually get a little bit cheaper price. The price goes up when they are released, and you also typically get a loaner ship, something to play with in the meantime before they're released. And so there's a loaner ship matrix you can consult. You don't have to buy any of this after the game is released, and even now in the beta you have the ability to use in-game credits to rent or to buy ships, so you don't have to use real money to buy anything but your first game package and one ship.
Your journey awaits.
And you see, I'm getting some rental expiration messages for the ships that I got almost 2 days ago. Okay, so we're in the Aegis Hall. Now let's go to the Anvil Hall. We'll go there and we'll do the same thing. We'll walk around and we'll look at the ships.
Many of the vehicles on display at this year's IAE are conveniently available to rent.
At I think it's 11 a.m. It's either 11 a.m. or noon East Coast time. Like every other day, they refresh the ships that are here. Okay, so here we see we've got the Crucible and the Ballista downstairs. Upstairs, we've got 3 of the halls filled with ships. So let's go ahead and make our way around the Expo Hall and take a look at this stuff. Anvil makes pretty much the ships for the military. If we take a look in here, you can see this is a F8. F8 Lightning. It's a heavy fighter. Pretty bitchin' spaceship. Rent this one. I'm not sure if we can rent this one. I don't think we can. But that's essentially the top of the line fighter that the Space Forces, the Navy and everybody else uses. If you play the companion game, the Squadron 42, when it's released and you complete that game, you complete the campaign in it, you'll have an opportunity to then buy those. There's the concept of you have to serve and then you become a full-on citizen. This is a Valkyrie dropship. This is a really nice flying ship. It's got a place in the back for vehicles. It's got side places for. We're gonna rent this guy. It's got side places for gunners. It's a really nice dropship. If you were gonna play in game, do military kind of stuff, and play with a bunch of players, this is a really good ship for moving troops in and out of a landing zone. That's the Valkyrie. Flies great. This one, I gotta say, this is one of my favorite ships in terms of flying. For its size, it really flies well. I haven't bought one. I haven't added one to my collection simply because I don't anticipate most of my gameplay will be like that. This is a Terrapin, right? It's a heavily armored ship. It's got basically a crew of 2, and it's a data runner. It gets data, and then it whisks it away to somewhere else. Also, it can be used if you're like facing enemy forces and you want to sneak in, map out, see what's going on, and then get back out. That's what this Terrapin does. I bought a package that included one of these, so I have one in my collection. I'm gonna go ahead and rent another one. If you're, it's not very offensive, but from a defensive standpoint, it's pretty good. So there's times when I've used that on a mission, to run cargo where you thought you were going to be meeting hostiles, and then you just get in and you get out, and you expect to be able to take a couple hits because you're in a heavily armored ship. All right, let's go into this Expo Hall. See what we got here. Looks like we got fighters in here. Okay, one of the Hornets. Stealth version of the Hornet Ghost. This is these are older than that that Lightning that we saw, and for that reason, you can, as a civilian, you can buy these. This is a different type. This one's the Hawk or Anvil F7A Hornet. A little bit different. Got the guns up there on the top. But yeah, this is the nice thing about the expos. Not only can people free fly that don't have game packages, but people that have game packages but don't have these ships get a chance to get a short period rental and use the ships for free. Now, right now we're waiting on this to be added to our inventory. There's a back-end servers that do this, and I had some problems yesterday, and we see the same thing here. We go to do it, and we get that error. Sometimes, like this Wildfire Hornet is a special livery and also a special loadout. So the ship itself isn't different than other F7Cs, but the paint job and the guns and the weapons that are a little bit different. Okay, so we're having that error, these errors again. Sort of disappointing that this has happened now 2 different days in a row, and again, it's a reflection of you're playing in the persistent universe, and it's got to communicate your rentals to a back end of servers that keeps track of stuff. I'm not terribly disappointed about not being able to rent all of those, but I am disappointed that this isn't working like it's supposed to work.
This is a friendly reminder that the Tobin Expo Center is a
Again,
free environment.
you know,
Refrain during your visit and have an amazing day.
as said earlier in the stream, you know, this is a this game is in alpha, so don't back it if you can't tolerate a little bit of this. Anvil Hurricane. So this is a slightly different ship. See if we can rent this one. Once again, having problems. Very disappointing. Again, Robert Space Industries has had plenty of time between these expos to look at all of the data, and they collect data on everything, figure out what the problem is, and then make plans accordingly, scale up their infrastructures. And for this to happen when they have expos and free flies time and time again, to me, just shows either an inability to get things done, or maybe they're not spending the money and they plan on having it fail during peak times. I don't know, but I think it reflects very poorly on them, and should be taken into account when making the decision whether or not you want to back this game. Keep in mind, I have backed this game to a pretty large degree, but I'm not going to just blow it off. So what we're looking at here is probably the most beloved ship in the game right now. This is the Carrack. You might say, well, what is a Carrack? Let's do a ship tour while we're waiting for this problem to resolve it. You got this front ramp. When this ship is on the ground, this is the only way to get in or out. There's a control here. You can put the ramp up or down, right? You can drive vehicles up into here. This is really nice. Right now, here's some. You got elevators that go straight up, but we're gonna kind of like take a tour. The bottom level of this ship is where it can haul a bunch of cargo. I have one of these. It's probably my favorite ship. Right, so there's room to haul cargo here down in the bottom. A lot of room for cargo. I think it's 456 SCU maybe. You got lockers to store uniforms. You got, you know, other workspaces. And then we've got the elevator here. So let's call the elevator. Okay, so this is the lowest level of this ship. The sub deck. Let's go up to the, that's where we're at now. Let's go to the habitation deck. Okay. So when we look in the habitation deck, we see, oh, there's a room right there. What the heck is that? Let's go into that room. It says medical. Okay, decontaminate. And so this essentially is where you've got beds to treat people, right? If folks are injured, if you're in combat, you can bring people in. In fact, there's a way to set, you could set this bed as your respawn point. So it's when you die or you're injured badly, you end up back here instead of going all the way back to the space station or the planet that you came in on. So that's pretty cool. So this is one of the few ships in game that have you have the ability to kind of have your respawn point and take it with you, which is a cool feature. So that's the med bay of the Carrack. Go a little bit further up through here. This is the mess hall where the crew on the ship eats, and this is like the rec room you could go into where the crew has recreation. Also, there's a captain's quarters where the captain's got a desk. He's also got a bathroom and a bed. That's pretty cool. And then here's one of the elevators that goes down below, but this is the bridge, right? So up here in the very front of the ship, we've got our 3 seats. Okay, and if we want to go up to the level above this, the upper bridge, we can. Say upper bridge. There we go. Okay. And so here's the upper bridge. It's got some remote gunners seats. It's got like a Navi map thing. And then here's like not a standing desk, but like a standing bridge. So you got those 3 seats down there you can fly it from. You can also stand right here and control the ship and fly the ship from here. That's pretty cool. Then let's continue our tour on this level. Got some escape pods if the going gets rough. We've got some bays. These are where the drone operators sit. They can do stuff in there. Then here, this is our hangar. So that roof up there opens up, and you could actually have a small spaceship inside this hangar. You land from the top. You come down and then you can close the door and close it in there. In fact, one of the ships that's like custom made to fit inside the Carrack, the Pisces, I saw it just outside on the showroom floor, we'll go over there and take a look. But yeah, there's doors. There are doors here to get us into the hangar bay. Right? We could open that up. It's very nice. And then there's the elevator that goes to all the different levels. We could have come up that way. Now down here, this on each side. There's these passageways that take us to the ball turret gunners, right? So there's turret gunners on each side of the ship, and this is how you access those. And then in the very back of the ship, we've got engineering, and there's a multi-level space back here where the engines and other components are located as well. You've got some ladders and places to go around. In here. I'm not going to bother to go all throughout engineering. Another little lift will take us lower engineering, upper engineering. There's the way to the other ball turret. So, you know, this ship is kind of the first ship that you could say, you know what, I could live on this ship. You could take a smaller ship for little short trips. You could take a ground vehicle in that hangar we saw with the ramp in the front. You got your med bay, you got crew beds. We didn't go in the crew bed section, but there's one on this ship. Got the captain's thing. So this is kind of a do-it-all ship, and I think that's why it's so loved by folks. It's not, you can fly it with one person, but you need multiple people here to operate the guns. So you can fly the ship by yourself, but if somebody attacks you, you'll be totally defensive. You really need to have additional crewmates to protect you. But okay, so there we go. Now we're back down on the main crew level, and there's the Pisces. There's the little ship that goes inside the hangar bay for this one. And if we go outside this door, that was captain's quarters. This is the crew quarters. We haven't been in here yet. So this is where the rest of the queue, and there's the showers here for the rest of the crew as well. So this is where your bathroom and your showers. So yeah, the Carrack is. I bought one of these because essentially this could be my my home away from home. I think I'm going to do a lot of exploring as part of my gameplay, and again, there's the medical bay right there, and just pretty much, I really thought this ship was pretty nice. Here's the elevator that can take you to all three decks. The one that we haven't gone to yet, sub deck, habitation deck, and technical deck. Those were the three. We've gone to all three of those in the ship, so let's go back down to the sub deck. Now, there's a door out, there's a docking collar, it's just a round hole in the side of the ship. If you're up in space, if you're in 0G, you could go in and out there, but when you're landed, the only access in and out of the ship is this front ramp, and that's probably my biggest criticism of the Carrack is that when you're on the ground, the only way in and out is this front thing. It would have been nice to have another smaller another smaller elevator that dropped down out of the bottom of the ship, or you know, a little ladder from somewhere. But there you go. Got that, those seats that we saw. That's one of the remote turrets. There's another one on the top of the ship that are tied to that. And then if we come around here, this is that. If you're out in 0G, then you've got that docking port. Or if you pull up to a space station, when they get docking enabled, that'll be another point of ingress and egress from the ship. But it doesn't do you very much good if you're on the ground. It's high enough you'll fall in there, and if you don't die, you'll get hurt a lot. So there's the Carrack again. I can't say enough nice things about the Carrack. Other than even if you're only going to play with a couple friends, the Carrack is a bitchin' ship to have access to. Let's see if we can rent some ships now. Looks like this problem is persisting again. Very disappointed. The nice thing is the expo happens over multiple days. The rentals last for 48 hours. It's not the end of the world. Let's go down and let's look at the stuff that's in the viewing things. Again, there's the Pisces over there. The Pisces fits inside of the Carrack. It has a warp engine. It has some guns, and there's another version of the Pisces that has a couple more guns. It has this like ramp in the back, so you can get some very small things inside of it. It doesn't have a lot of space inside. It's got 2 jump seats for people. It's a pretty useful ship. And again, it fits inside the hangar bay of the Carrack, which makes it a pretty good choice. Now this right here, this is a, as you might expect, a anti-aircraft unit. It's the Anvil Ballista. Basically, 2 people inside there. One's the driver. You got guns, and you've got missiles on this thing. Right now, the vehicles that this will fit inside of are pretty limited. It's a little bit tall for some of the other ships. But as other spaceships are added to the game, that'll be less of a problem. And this is the kind of thing, if you were engaging in some sort of offensive or defensive action, you could use to provide air defense for yourself. I bought one of these, although the gameplay really isn't in game for it. Error has occurred. Again, if you can't stand seeing messages like that, then this game is definitely not for you.
Stay aware of your surroundings.
Okay, so the Ballista, and we've got the Crucible down here to look at as well. So, again, the ones that are displayed like this are ships that are not yet in the game. The Anvil Crucible, focused on heavy repair. As a so-called flying toolbox, the Crucible is Anvil Aerospace's first dedicated repair ship. Featuring a rotating control bridge and detachable pressurized workspace, the Crucible is a versatile mobile garage equipped with repair arms, a drone operations center, and all the equipment needed to overhaul a damaged craft back into fighting shape. So this is going to be a larger multi-crew, multi-person type of ship whose job it is like it said, is to fix stuff. That'll be, I think these will be used a lot. And fleets will have them accompany them, to fix stuff. It's a little bit larger than what I think I would be needing, but it's a pretty cool ship. Again, you got the opportunity to pledge for it if you want, but not currently in game. Well, I got to tell you, I'm pretty disappointed with not being able to rent these ships. I'm going to try later on, and for that very reason, I think now is probably a good spot for me to go ahead and to say thank you for watching. I'll going to jump back in later and try to rent some of these ships, and I might even get out into space and use some of these rentals to earn some credits before they disappear. Can't make any promises because I usually jump into Star Citizen for about an hour here in the morning as I drink my coffee, and then I get caught up in like the real world stuff I have to do in my life, and I may not make it back in. If you like what you see, please follow my channel on Twitch. Again, I'm Ed Wired, EDWIRED, and look for me usually in the mornings East Coast time. And if you're seeing this over on YouTube, I'll continue to upload these over there. But if you want to watch live, you want to be able to type stuff in the chat, have a little conversation, you can find me on Twitch. All right, until then, I'm going to say thanks for watching. And again, that code, let me pop that code into chat. The code, if you want to try free fly event, when you make your account, use my code, and then later on, if you do decide to buy a game package, and I think game packages are either $35 or $40 US now, you'll get those 5,000 in-game credits additionally for free, having used my code, and I'll get a referral credit. And again, thanks in advance for that, and thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.